Hey guys, Archer's Garage. So, on this series, it's going to be 3 episodes, essentially. And so this series on this particular blower, we're going to be focusing on this cool Japanese motor. And I'm going to give you some insight into it a little bit. And without giving away the store, part 1 is all diagnostic. And it fought me every step of the way. And there's times when, a lot of these older machines, they've been set to, set in stone for a long time. They may have been laying around not working and were put down not working and then made worse by time and being set outside or whatever, or cast to the 4 winds. So when you guys want to go do something like what I'm doing, whether it's for fun or profit, or you find a machine and you just want to play with it and you want to learn, even if it's just you want to learn, if you guys are watching these series to maybe learn something and pick something up, part 1 is totally for you. Really, part 1 should be for everybody. I can't stress enough. And for those of you that would like to see old Uncle Arch suffer, right, for a little while, really suffer and start to get frustrated and maybe even give up. I don't get mad, but sometimes I do. But if you want to watch old Uncle Arch suffer, watch part 1, okay? I'm not going to show you, don't expect me banging stuff, throwing stuff. I tend not to do that. I'm getting a little old for that, but it's a tough one. So watch part 1. We're really going to go through the will it run and all the diagnostics. And I would say by the end of part 1, I'm really trying to show you guys that you may not want to do certain machines. Because if you're trying to do it for profit, right, there may not be any money left in it by the time you're doing. So in 3 of the series, you're going to see a lot of time. So stick with it. I think I'm going to release it like once a week. Part 2 is going to be a little bit more of whether or not this thing actually runs or not. And so I would stay tuned for part 2. Come back for part 2 to see if it runs or not. Check out all the parts. I'm going to try to release like 1 a week for you. And I hope you enjoy it. And if you like this stuff, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Totally, guys, leave a comment. I'm going to try start putting some links in the descriptions and better descriptions. The links you can click on to buy stuff. This is just affiliate marketing. You're still going to get the great prices, but I make a few dollars on it, and that would be a great way to help support, old Uncle Arch. Because yeah, I'm getting old, and life's hard. I live in New York, and I have a hard life, and I know, here's the violin, right? Here's the violin. Help Uncle Arch out, please. So stick around, guys. We'll be back in a bit. Check this one out. This is the next one up. It's a Craftsman of unknown origin. A model 636.796970. A 40.2 cc 2-cycle. Manufactured by Sears and Roebuck and Company, made in Japan. Right? Could be an Echo. Made like actually really nice. Broken over here, right? This snapped off, but I think I can figure out a way to put that back on again. I think I have an idea for that. Little rough. It pulls. Let's see what we can come up with. We got to. It was pretty dirty, and like I said, it did try to start. So let's just bust it apart. We're going to start off with getting some magic juice into the engine and we'll pull it over a bunch of times, and then we'll maybe see if we can do a compression test. We'll validate spark. I mean, because it did kick, that's why I kind of bought it. But that should mean that it doesn't need an ignition module. But my guess is before we even get to this, let's just go through what we would normally go through. Now, since it had a lot of junk and it's older, we're probably going to want to take all this plastic off, get in there, maybe clean a little bit more, and pull this muffler out. Venture to say that the muffler's got a lot of ghoul in it, and we need to take a look at the spark arrestor too, because if that's jammed up, you're never going to get it to run, if at all, or run right. So let's get started on this one, guys.
12 seconds later.
But she's dry as a bone. So let's start off with at least, let's do a quick spark test before we get too involved. We'll put a little bit of juice in here. Now, it's not a great plug. We could try a different plug, but I'm not seeing anything. Yep, now I see a little bit. Okay, so probably needs to be dealt with. You know, we need to polish up the, if we can get to it, we need to polish up the ignition, the igniter. Smell it. Alright, we got a problem. Yeah, she's not going to run. Yeah, not with 50 pounds. She's got about 40-something pounds. Unfortunately, that's not enough to get it running. We may have to try to spin it up. Just pull it through slow. I'm going to do this a handful of times and see if we can just get the compression to come up a little. Well, you can tell it's see how now it's starting to move. See? Oh yeah, so that's a good sign. Hear it? So that's a good sign. So we want to get more of that in. You can either put a rag over it or the plug back in. In our case, we're going to use just really load it up with this juice. We're going to use the compression gauge. By putting it under pressure, you're forcing this liquid all around. Otherwise, it's just sloshing. But by keeping some pressure on it, you're actually forcing the fluids around. Okay, so about the same, and she's leaking down. So she almost hit 50. So now let's try and blow it out again. I think it's shot. I think what you're going to find is you're going to waste your time with it. Let's put a little bit more of this in, and let's squirt some oil into here. All right, we'll pull that around a few times, blow that out. You'll probably see the compression gauge come up a little. That's 5. Yeah, same kind of thing, and it's bleeding down too. So unlikely that this will run. Generally with 2 strokes, if you can get 80 to 90 to certainly like 100 pounds is my favorite. You get 100 pounds, it's better that it's more than that, but if you can get 100 pounds, then definitely go. If the machine, it looks like it's an overall good quality, and it's not all busted up, you know, even if it didn't have spark, the motor is most likely good. When it's doing this, good luck. So we're going to pour a bunch of gas in there, and we're just going to thread this down in. See what I mean? Dead. See all the dirt in here, right? Didn't have a filter. And now we're going to blow it out again. Okay, get all the gook out of there.
A few moments later.
Dirt definitely got in here. See something in there, I don't know what it is. So I got the plug back in. I cleaned the plug just quick on the wire wheel. I rinsed that out, a little bit of gas in the carburetor area here. You know, try to shoot the gas up in there with it like this. you know, leaning down. And now let's try. There we go. Almost, a little more. If we can maybe keep it running like this. Now it doesn't have any fuel supply, guys. So let's try backing the throttle down a little bit. Okay? Because it may not, you know, it may not run that fast. It doesn't have enough fuel supply for that. All right. So we know she kicks. Now the question really becomes is, will it be enough compression to actually run it? And generally speaking, no. All right, that's not good. That's not enough compression. So we have a couple of choices. It's all wet. But it could be wet for a number of reasons. Okay, so we got the cover off. Now, here's what I want you to see. There's the igniter, but there's this lip on the engine right here. And there's just no way you're going to be able to get a gauge in there that I can see. So you can't take this off and clean it. You can't take the igniter off. You see? This whole engine lip right here, whatever that is, there's no way to get a gauge in there. So that doesn't mean it's the end. Okay, so in the other camera view, I show how you cannot get to this magneto to gap it, or with the motor mounted to the body. And I don't think you really want to take this all apart to find out how to do it better. Okay, I got that off. It's just Phillips head screws. You got to use like a number 2 size Phillips. Melted in here a little bit. I think I peeked inside here with a light, and maybe I can get you a shot when we get up on the other bench, but maybe it ran a little dry at one point and maybe overheated a little bit. I do see sometimes melting around the muffler in a lot of these machines, you know, just in my experience, so I'm not going to be too alarmed. It doesn't look like it melted through. It's mostly the support webbing. It's Japanese. By the way, it's got 2 piston rings on it. All right, so there's a hole in it. Right? Looks like this is a hole, and I'm not sure why that hole is there. You know, that could be a problem. That screen does not look happy, and it looks like it comes off. So we're gonna deal with this later, right? If it runs, we don't have to use the muffler to get it running.
20 minutes later.
Alright, certainly a lot cleaner. So I'm pretty happy with that. You know, it's going to be a while before it's really dry, but that's the beauty of it. I blew it off. I'll blow it off again. We got to take the carb off, and I think the first step is going to be we're going to take the throttle out. I know it's noisy in here. I need the compressor again. Right? That turn. So we'll just take this off. Now in this model, you got to take off this ring. And one of them I had to use my impact on. My impact driver where you slam it with the hammer. So now we can take this off. And one of these was loose, which means the carburetor was not tight. And it could be stripped. Feels like it might be. Right? So that means we have a problem there. Because this was not getting tight. Okay, so there is a kind of a nut that you have to catch. It slides. It's probably captive, but yeah. So the person, somebody's had this off, And we're going to need another one of these. So we may want to take this off as well, and we'll peek in there in a little bit. In the meantime, I put coil on the other ports. All right, we're going to find out. And the verdict is something stuck. There we go. That's interesting, huh? So what had happened? That's weird. I don't know this carburetor. There's a lot of gel in here. It's not destroyed. And I guess this maybe just sits and rides on it. Yeah. Okay. All right, well, let's get it cleaned up. I mean, I'm going to start off with my usual. We're going to wash it. I'll just give it a quick blow, and then we'll wash it with some solvent. It smells nice, though, in a weird way. I don't know what chemicals are in it. Maybe some kind of fuel additive or preservative of some kind. I don't know. Something. It's like on the edge of being rancid. Kind of wants to go. I think it wants to go the other direction. Yeah, it has to go in the other direction because it won't clear this. So, let's see. Here it comes. Yeah, it's made to come this way. And there's your, ugh. Yeah, we'll get that in a little bit of acid or something. A little spray acid. Doesn't really need it. Just a brass tang. Yeah, that's one thing. It's got some staining on it. So we'll put this in a little bit of acid. Yeah, it's coming out. It's not too bad. We'll blow it and then we'll put acid. It's not too bad. Looks good so far. Not seeing any immediate stumbling block. Right, we can also, you know, let that soak for a little bit. I'll go have a coffee or something. Now we got this guy here. Let's put a little mark on it, so we have some idea of where it is. Alright, so we got a little mark on it. Let's turn it in. That's like 1. Two. That's 3. Wow, that's 4. That's 5. Yeah, a little over 5 turns. I say we want it out about 2 turns. So I think we'll start there. Let's get these guys in there and wash them out too. Okay, as we proceed, no direct issue so far. Gasket looks good. It's fine. These are nice carburetors. It looks like a lot like the McKinney. I don't know how you say that. You know, I'm from New York. Coffee. You know, what the hell do I know about saying anything? Alright, so now we could want to peek in there because there could be junk coming in from the filter. So I think that's probably a good idea. And then, of course, okay, a little bit of debris in there. Just a little bit. There's a screen there. I mean, there's some junk there. All we got to do now is just clean the jet out. We'll polish this up with a little bit of, I guess we'll use our Scotch-Brite and our lube for that. I like the long-handled screwdrivers because they twist, and that gives you a lot of torque to tighten and to loosen. Okay, which way is open? Like that, maybe? Let's see. Sounds about right. Listen. All right, now let's turn upside down. It's sealing up. And so if we go this way, yeah. So this is open. All right. All right, guys. We'll be back in a few minutes. We're going to put it on. We're going to find out what's going on.
Later.
Okay, so everything's blowed out. The other thing we got to do now, just make sure that's clean. And we're just going to put some, or a two-stroke with the tranny on it, tranny fluid on all of this. And then we're going to install it. And there's a slot. Just have to make sure you get the slot in the right spot. It won't go down any other way. Now, to start off with, all right, we're going to use some regular gas because there's a lot of oil in it, and then this has a lot of transmission fluid and extra oils in it. Okay, so it looks like it's coming right out, but hard to say. I'm spilling it all over the place. There we go. Now we don't know if it's coming out or whatever it's doing. Not getting anything. It's hard to hold it. Maybe we'll clamp it to the table. All right. We'll try doing that. Okay, let's see if this is any a little bit more sturdy. Oh yeah. No, see? We're gonna want to check that plug and see if it's getting too wet. Just to see, and let's put some regular gas down into here. I don't think so. There we go. Okay, so we got a kick. we're going to get anything out of it. Put a little regular gas in. Alright, let's take this off. So what we're going to do now, let's take this off, and we're going to use, we're going to have to try to use a drill and see if we can really get it to crank over. Because if there's any junk inside the combustion chamber, which there probably is from everything that we've been doing, plus just the way it's been, the only way you're going to get that out is you have to exercise the machine. And I, for one, my shoulder already hurts. I am not going to keep pulling on this thing. So I'd rather break something other than my shoulder. So we tried it this way. Alright, so that's a little bit better than it was. A little bit of regular fuel. See, it's coming right through the port. Okay, I'm going to close the port. That should do it. Yay! Almost. Not pulling fuel. She's not pulling fuel. And I don't know why that would be. I don't know. Let's try opening this up a little bit more. A little bit more of a. Put some fuel through there. Yeah, see what's happening is it doesn't really have enough suction to pull fuel through. Right, notice it's trying a little bit more. You want to get it hot if you can. We don't want it to go full throttle, so we'll back the throttle down a little bit. Pull this guy out a little bit more, that adjustment valve. Yeah, you see it's backfiring? That's a valve issue. I think there might be valves in here. Okay, so what I think is most likely, there's probably a valve pack in here. That'd be my guess. Okay? You got the pressure coming out this way. Yeah, that screw's coming loose. That's alright. That's enough wire. Alright, so that's one of the problems. Yeah, alright, so I'm going to take the carb back off, and we're going to take this section off next, and we'll see what's going on.